Bro, I honestly don't know what I just watched. Bro, what did we just watch in the NBA Finals Game 4? I have no idea what I just watched, bro. The Knicks pull off a historic comeback in Game 4 of the NBA Finals. They were down 29 in the first half. They end up winning by 1 point. The Knicks beat the Spurs. The Knicks come back from a near 30-point deficit to beat the Spurs 107 to 106. Bro, it's just I can't I have no idea what I just watched. No idea what I just watched. The Spurs had the game in the bag. Had the game in the bag. But they're all like honestly the Spurs, it's like they really just let up. Like they were just out there kind of shooting around when they felt like they were up big enough. Shooting around, letting up, taking their foot off the Knicks' throat. And what do the Knicks do? They capitalize. Jalen Brunson, he locks in. You know how he gets in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, Jalen Brunson. OG, being OG, making those clutch plays on both offense and defense, playing lockdown defense, but also hitting those go-ahead clutch corner threes. Bro, like it's Josh Hart, being playing clutch defense, getting clutch rebounds, bro. I don't understand what I just witnessed. Like, bro, the Knicks, the Knicks pulled off the greatest comeback in NBA playoff history. Greatest comeback in NBA playoff history. They were down 29 in the first half. They come back and win by 1. Honestly, bro, the Knicks might be. It's hard. Like, we honestly need to start having some uncomfortable conversations about where this Knicks team ranks all time. Because honestly, this Knicks team statistically really looks like one of the best teams in NBA history. One of the best teams in NBA history. Like, bro, we're talking 13 straight wins in the playoffs, 2 sweeps against the Cavs and my Sixers. They set a net rating record against the Sixers in that sweep. They set a first half blowout record against the Hawks before the Cavs series. Like, and in the playoffs so far, they're averaging a 121 offensive rating, a 104 defensive rating. Bro, the Knicks came into the finals with all 5 of their starters averaging double-digit figures. Brunson, Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG, Cat, all averaging double-digit figures offensively. Like, bro, and then on top of that, you then got to add the biggest comeback in NBA playoff history to that resume. You got to add it. Like, bro, this might be the greatest NBA team that we have seen. The greatest NBA team that we have seen, at least in a single season. And then on top of that, this team, it honestly on paper, it looks like one of the most complete teams we've ever seen. Like, bro, they have their bona fide superstar in Jalen Brunson. They have elite spacing, guys that can stretch the floor. They have multiple switchable defenders, OG, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, all guys that can guard multiple positions. They have really elite rebounding. Josh Hart as a 6'4", 6-foot guard, being one of the best rebounders in the NBA. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson, his long wingspan, OG Anunoby, Cat. They have multiple shot creators. Obviously, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart can create his own shot. Mikal Bridges can create his own shot. OG is doing better at creating his own shot. Obviously, Cat is immensely talented on offense. But then you got also Landry Shamet, who's coming off the bench creating his own shots. Like, bro, this team on paper is one of the most balanced, complete teams in NBA history. So not only statistically is it one of the best teams of all time, on paper, like just watching, just off watching the tape and looking at this on paper, this team is one of the most complete teams we have ever seen as well. They have everything they need. Like, it's honestly crazy. It's honestly crazy. Like, to look at the Knicks, a team that we wouldn't have said had a true bona fide superstar going into the playoffs. This team is solidifying itself as one of the best playoff teams to ever play the game. One of the best playoff teams to ever play the game. Jalen Brunson has more than proven himself as a bona fide superstar in the NBA. They have elite defenders. They have multiple different shot creators on the squad. They have multiple different dominant rebounders on the squad. This team has everything you need to win a championship. 13 straight playoff wins, 2 sweeps, a net rating record against in one of their sweeps, a record breaking first half blowout against the Hawks, an average 121 offensive rating, an average 104 defensive rating. Each starter going into the finals averaging double-digit figures going into the finals. And then you add the biggest comeback ever in NBA playoff history. The team that we probably would, the team that we didn't think had any real bona fide superstars is aging to be one of the greatest playoff teams that we have ever seen. It's honestly wild. It's honestly wild. And at the heart of that is Jalen freaking Brunson. Jalen Brunson is a dog. Jalen Brunson is a dog. Jalen Brunson is a cold-blooded killer in the NBA. There are not a lot of guys that have that true killer mentality, true killer instinct, true killer mode that they can tap into at any point in the game. Jalen Brunson has that. Jalen Brunson is cold. It's honestly, Jalen Brunson is inarguably a top 2 to 3 point guard in the NBA. Unquestionable. Like, the only point guard right now that looks better to me in the NBA, or the only point guard right now that you can say is better than Jalen Brunson in the NBA, is Stephen Curry. Not Cade Cunningham, not even Tyrese Maxey. There's no point guard, not LaMelo Ball. Like, there's no point guard that you can say, not even Shea. There's no point guard that you can say in the NBA that is head and shoulders better than Jalen Brunson right now, other than Steph. I would take Jalen Brunson over any other point guard in the NBA right now, other than Stephen Curry. I would take Jalen Brunson over Tyrese Maxey. I would take Jalen Brunson over Cade Cunningham, at least right now. Cade Cunningham obviously having a very high ceiling, just talent-wise. I would take Jalen Brunson over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in a heartbeat right now, for sure. I would take Jalen Brunson over LaMelo Ball, who, is a flashy playmaker. He's fun to watch. The only point guard that is better than Jalen Brunson right now is Stephen Curry. A four-time champion, a unanimous MVP, a back-to-back MVP, the greatest shooter that has ever walked the earth, one of the best ball handlers that has ever walked the earth. The only point guard that is better than Jalen Brunson in my eyes is Stephen Curry. 1,000%. Like, bro, honestly, I look at Jalen Brunson. I know a lot of y'all are going to get mad at me for this, but I don't really care. I look at Jalen Brunson and I see Jalen Hurts. Jalen Brunson is the Jalen Hurts of the NBA. I know y'all are going to get mad at me for saying that, but I really don't care. I really could care less. Jalen Brunson is the Jalen Hurts of the NBA. Just like Jalen Hurts, Jalen Brunson is the most clutch player in the NBA. Most clutch player. There's no one that is more clutch than Jalen Brunson in the NBA. You can say there are guys there are very few guys that are maybe as clutch, just like Jalen Hurts. But there is no one more clutch than Jalen Brunson in the NBA right now. This guy always delivers when it matters most. He may not be super dominant throughout the entire game. He may not be super efficient throughout the entire game, but when it matters most, in crunch time, he's unguardable, he's unstoppable. Everything he throws up is going in. Everything he throws up is going in. Like, bro, it gets to a point where, like, I get nervous when the ball is in his hands. Like, as the opposition, I get nervous when the ball is in Jalen Brunson's hands. Just like as an Eagles fan, I get excited when the ball is in Jalen Hurts' hands during the 2-minute drill, in the crunch time of the game. Bro, Jalen Brunson is the Jalen Hurts of the NBA because he gets better as the game progresses. He shakes off any mistakes that he made earlier in the game. He doesn't let that faze him. He may not be super dominant throughout the entire game, but when it matters the most, Jalen Brunson is going to get you a dub. Jalen Brunson is going to get you a dub. Jalen Brunson is the Jalen Hurts of the NBA, 1,000%. 1,000%. Jalen Brunson is likely going to win the Finals MVP, assuming that the Knicks close out the Spurs on Saturday. But if there is anyone who could win Finals MVP over Jalen Brunson, in my opinion, it's OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby is the only player that could win Finals MVP this year over Jalen Brunson if the Knicks win. If the Knicks close out the Spurs, OG Anunoby does have a case over Jalen Brunson. Like, bro, Brunson, don't get me wrong, has been super clutch through this series. He's been super clutch, but OG has been consistent. Like Jalen Brunson, I believe he's averaging around 29 points throughout this series so far, but it hasn't been an efficient 29. It hasn't been an efficient 29. It's honestly been a wildly inefficient 29. Like he's finding the bottom of the net, but not an efficient rate. OG has not only been consistent on offense, he's also been consistent on defense. Like OG has been consistently scoring, but he's also been coming up huge on defense. Huge on defense. Like honestly, OG Anunoby this year in the finals is doing what Andre Iguodala was awarded NBA Finals MVP for in 2015. OG Anunoby is not only doing what Iggy was awarded Finals MVP for, but he's doing more. Like he's OG Anunoby is playing great defense like Andre Iguodala was in 2015 against LeBron James, but he's also scoring at a higher clip than Andre Iguodala was. So he's not only equally as valuable on defense, he's more valuable on offense than Iguodala was in 2015. OG right now is averaging 23 points in this series to Iggy's 16 in 2015. OG Anunoby right now is averaging 6 rebounds to Iggy's 5 in 2015. OG Anunoby right now is shooting 44% from the three-point line to Iggy's 40% in 2015. All while playing elite defense, elite caliber defense, and giving championship level effort. OG Anunoby definitely has a case for Finals MVP over Jalen Brunson. He definitely has a case. OG Anunoby has a case for Finals MVP over Jalen Brunson. OG is the only one who has a case for Finals MVP over Jalen Brunson because he is not only playing elite caliber defense, but he is also being consistent on offense. Jalen Brunson has been clutch. He's been the most clutch on the Knicks for sure, but OG has been clutch as well. So OG has been clutch. He's been consistent on both offense and defense, and he is giving nonstop championship level effort. This game winner in game 4 was just the latest example of that. But OG has been doing all of those things consistently, not only just in the finals, but throughout the entire postseason. OG honestly has had one of the most impressive playoff runs of any player that was in the playoffs this year. So if there's any player that could win NBA Finals MVP of 2026 this year over Jalen Brunson, it would be OG. OG definitely has a case for Finals MVP this year over Jalen Brunson. But like I said, Jalen Brunson will most likely win the award. Bro, the Knicks just look so good right now, bro. The fact that you have 2 guys that have a case for Finals MVP if your team wins, bro, that should tell you something, bro. You got 2 guys that are playing at a Finals MVP level. You have multiple guys that are playing elite defense. Karl Anthony Towns has been really giving Wemby an issue, at least in those first 3 games. Those first 2 or 3 games. Josh Hart is playing great defense. OG obviously playing elite level defense. Mikal Bridges playing defense. You got multiple guys that can space the floor, both starting and off the bench. All the starters can shoot, but then you got guys that can shoot off the bench like Deuce McBride, like Landry Shamet, like Jordan Clarkson, like Jose Alvarado is looking good right now from long range. You have multiple guys that can rebound. Bro, this team just looks so good right now. It's honestly hard for me it's hard not to see that the Knicks might win the finals this year. Like it's hard not to imagine the Knicks winning the finals this year with how complete this squad looks right now. So all of the praise, all of the credit, all of the, all the appreciation to Knicks and the way they're playing basketball right now. But the Spurs gave this game away. Gave this game away. Like, bro, they were up 30. They were up 30 in the first half. Then they just let up, start shooting around, thinking it's sweet around here. And the Knicks capitalize. The Knicks capitalize. Bro, honestly, after watching game 4, De'Aaron Fox and Mitch Johnson need to be gone after this season. Like, bro, De'Aaron Fox and Mitch Johnson, like, if you look at the biggest reasons why the Spurs lost this game, it's De'Aaron Fox and Mitch Johnson. De'Aaron Fox and Mitch Johnson are gone after this season. Like, bro, they are gone after this season. De'Aaron Fox won for, like, if you're gonna steal minutes from Dylan Harper, at least make it worth it. Like, bro, De'Aaron Fox has been consistently holding this team back in the playoffs in the biggest moments. And then Mitch Johnson just managing this game horribly. Like, you give up a 29-point lead, not one timeout called, and then just making very questionable decisions in the most crucial points of the game. Like, for one, for example, why is Dylan Harper on the inbound? Why is he inbounding the ball as opposed to being schemed open with Wemby? That's your second best player. That's your second best scorer. Like, bro, De'Aaron Fox and Mitch Johnson are the biggest reasons why the Spurs lost game 4 and are down 3-1 in the finals right now. Biggest reasons why. No question. De'Aaron Fox and Mitch Johnson need to be gone after this season. After this season, in order for the Spurs to really build on what they accomplished this year, De'Aaron Fox and Mitch Johnson cannot be in the building in 2027. Under no means. Bro, you look at Mitch Johnson. Mitch Johnson is one of the biggest reasons why the Spurs are down 3-1 in the NBA Finals right now. And, like, honestly, Mitch Johnson is going to be fired after this year. He's going to be fired after this year. One, you fell victim to the biggest comeback in NBA playoffs history. Just off that alone, you're fired. Like, that's fireable by itself. Like, bro, call a timeout. like, bro, call a timeout. Like, you were up 29 at one point. Now it's a 15-point game. Call a timeout. Now it's a 10-point game. Call a timeout. Now you're down to a single-digit lead. Call a freaking timeout. It's a 5-point game. It's a 4-point game. They have the lead. Mike Brown was calling timeouts before Mitch Johnson was, and he had the momentum. Like, bro, it's Mitch Johnson was one of the biggest reasons why the Spurs lost game 4. One of the biggest reasons why. Mitch Johnson is going to be fired after this year. Not only did he fall victim to the biggest comeback in NBA playoffs history, like he had the game in the bag. He fell victim to one of the biggest comebacks in NBA playoff history by making poor decisions throughout the entirety of the game. Like, you had the game in the bag. You had the game in the bag for multiple reasons. One, the Spurs were the better team for 3/4 of the game. Cat and Mitchell Robinson were in foul trouble in the first quarter. Defensively, you held Jalen Brunson in check through the first half. Defensively, you held Cat in check for the entire game. He only had, I believe, 3 points each quarter, especially leading up to the fourth quarter. Like, there were the Spurs had the game in the bag. Like, as a coach, at that point, you just have to not lose the game. Just not lose the game. But somehow, Mitch Johnson lost the game, bro. Mitch Johnson is honestly going to get fired after this series. After this NBA Finals is over, unless they win somehow, unless the Spurs come back from a 3-1 deficit, which only LeBron James has been able to do, the greatest player to ever play the game. Unless the Spurs come back from a 3-1 deficit, Mitch Johnson is fired after this year. He's fired. Like, honestly, it's crazy though, because looking at Mitch Johnson is losing the NBA Finals right now, mostly based off his rotation. Like, he's been making questionable decisions consistently, But one of the biggest reasons why Mitch Johnson is losing the NBA Finals right now is because of his rotation. Like, bro, Keldon Johnson, sixth man of the year, Luke Cornett, Carter Bryant, Dylan Harper, all those guys need to be playing more minutes. All those guys need to be playing more. All those guys need more minutes. They all need more minutes. Like, aside from defense, depth has been the biggest asset for the Spurs team throughout this entire season. It's been the biggest asset. Like, bro, Keldon Johnson, the sixth man of the year. He's been near invisible in the finals so far, but he also is only playing like 5 minutes a game. Like, Luke Cornett, he could be giving Wemby more sustainable rest throughout this series. Carter Bryant, a guy who could be a quality role player in the NBA, has shown flashes of being a quality role player in the NBA. He's just not getting minutes. Bro, Dylan Harper is playing like there's no reason why Dylan Harper should not be playing more than De'Aaron Fox. He should be playing more than De'Aaron Fox. Like, bro, one of the biggest reasons, like, bro, Mitch Robinson is honestly losing this series based off the rotation. It's like his rotation is one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, why the Spurs are losing the NBA Finals right now. Why they're losing in the series. That's one of the biggest reasons. Like, this rotation is garbage. It's garbage. You're up 30 and somehow Wemby is still playing 40 minutes in the, like almost 40 minutes in the game. You're up 30 and somehow we're still sticking with this 6 to 7 man rotation. Like, Mitch Johnson is honestly using a Thibodeau, a Tom Thibodeau rotation. Like, honestly, rotation is one of the biggest reasons why Mitch Robinson is losing this series for the Spurs. You got multiple guys that should have more minutes. Multiple guys that should have more minutes. Multiple guys that should. Honestly, at this point, I honestly think the only thing that might save the Spurs at this point is if Greg Popovich comes out of retirement and takes control of the sideline for the finals, for the remainder of the series. I think that might be the only thing that'll save the Spurs is if Pop comes back. Because honestly, like, the Spurs have everything else but coaching at this point. Like, they have the talent. They have multiple guys that have the skill. They have the depth that you need for a championship team. Like, they have the ability. Like, they have the scores. They have the rebounders. They have the defenders. But honestly, this team has fight as well. Like, this Spurs team has fight. Wemby's got fight in him. Stephon Castle got fight in him. Dylan Harper has fight in him. Julian Champagnie has fight in him. Keldon Johnson off the bench has fight in him. Like, bro, this is a team with, like, the only thing that this team is missing right now is coaching. It's the only thing this team is missing right now. If the only thing that might save the Spurs right now from losing in the NBA Finals 4-1 is if Coach Pop comes down from the owner's box and comes back to the sideline. That might be Pop coming back might be the only thing that saves the Spurs at this point. Because the Spurs have everything else they need to win this series. They have everything else. They have their superstar in Wemby. They have their scores. They have they have the talent. They have the skill. They have the range of abilities. They have the depth. They have the spirit and the will and the fight to come back and battle back in this series. They just don't have the coaching right now. But if Pop were to come back, that'd be everything. That'd be all they need. Like, honestly, that would be all they need. All they need. But, bro, looking at the biggest reasons why the Spurs lost game 4, we talked about Mitch. De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is one of the biggest reasons why the Spurs not only lost game 4, but why they are even down 3-1. One of the biggest reasons why. Like, De'Aaron Fox, what are you doing? Bro, De'Aaron Fox, 13 seconds left in the game. They're up 1. He chooses to take a contested layup, but not just a contested layup. A contested layup against OG Anunoby. A guy who has really been a top 5 two-way player in the NBA this year, arguably. A guy who has arguably been the best or the second best overall defensive player in the entire postseason. De'Aaron Fox chooses to take that shot instead of running out the clock. De'Aaron Fox honestly committed the dumbest play in postseason history, honestly comparable to J.R. Smith. Honestly comparable to Cleveland Cavaliers J.R. Smith. What is De'Aaron Fox doing? De'Aaron Fox is one of the biggest reasons why the Spurs not only lost game 4, but why they are even down 3-1 to begin with. Because he has not looked good. De'Aaron Fox has not looked good. De'Aaron Fox has looked honestly horrible in the finals. He's looked shaky throughout the postseason, but he has honestly looked horrible throughout the NBA Finals. Like, honestly, bro. De'Aaron Fox. Excuse me. De'Aaron Fox. 13 seconds left in the game. Off a steal from Stephon Castle, he chooses to go up for a contested layup against OG Anunoby. Like, bro, hold the ball. Hold the rock. If you waste clock, you're either getting fouled or you're either getting fouled, you're maintaining your lead, or you're giving the offense a chance to reset and look for a better shot to just ice the game. Because you are not the person to take the last shot in the game. Not on this squad. The person who should be taking the last shot is Wemby. And if it's not Wemby, it really needs to be Dylan Harper. And if it's not Dylan Harper, it should be Stephon Castle. And if it's not Stephon Castle, it should be Julian Champagnie. Like, bro, this move by De'Aaron Fox is dumb for so many reasons. Like, that last play by De'Aaron Fox was dumb for so many reasons. Not only were the Spurs up by 1 with 13 seconds left, but under no circumstances should De'Aaron Fox be taking the last shot for the Spurs in the game. Like, under no circumstances. If you look at that starting lineup, or even just who's out on the floor, De'Aaron Fox is the last guy that I want taking that shot. He's the last guy that I want taking any shot to end the game for the Spurs. Like, bro, I would obviously you want Wemby to take the last shot. But if it's not Wemby, you want Dylan Harper to take the last shot. If it's not Harp, you want Stephon Castle to take the last shot. If it's not Stephon Castle, I'd rather Julian Champagnie take the last shot before De'Aaron Fox. Champagnie's looked great in the playoffs. He's looked great in the finals. Like, honestly, aside from Wemby, Dylan Harper and Julian Champagnie have really been playing the best and most consistent out of anyone on the Spurs, including Castle. Bro, I would rather Champagnie take the last shot before De'Aaron Fox. Under no circumstances should De'Aaron Fox be taking the last shot to ice or win the game for the Spurs, especially on this stage. Under no circumstances. So, bro, this shot by De'Aaron Fox was dumb for so many reasons. It was dumb for so many reasons. There's no reason De'Aaron Fox should have taken that shot at that moment in the game. At that moment, in that situation, there's no reason. There's no reason. Like, if I'm his teammates, I'm pissed at De'Aaron Fox in the locker room. I'm pissed at De'Aaron Fox in the locker room. There is no reason De'Aaron Fox should be taking that shot. Honestly, bro, Dylan Harper should be playing more. Hold on. Actually, let me play this stop for y'all real quick. De'Aaron Fox after the game. I'm sorry, I'm so worked up. I got a soundbite for y'all. Forgot about the soundbite. De'Aaron Fox after the game, he weighed in on that last play, just what he was thinking, what led to the play.
I just thought I'd be able to outrun him. That's it. How do you guys bounce?
You thought you'd be able to outrun him. Why would you need to outrun him with 13 seconds left in the game? Y'all are up by 1. Why would you need to outrun him when y'all have the lead Time is on your side. There's no reason to rush. Like that, you have every reason not to rush. You have every reason not to try to outrun OG Anunoby at that point in the game. De'Aaron Fox honestly committed the dumbest playoff play, I think, since J.R. Smith. It's honestly up there with J.R. Smith in Cleveland. It's up there. Just a stupid play, bro. But like, bro, this is just another reason why Dylan Harper should be playing more than De'Aaron Fox. It's long overdue. At this point, Mitch Johnson, in order to save his job, he needs to just start Dylan Harper. Start Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper should be playing more than De'Aaron Fox. Switch their roles, bro. Switch their roles. Dylan Harper is not only the second best player on the Spurs, he's the second most important player on the Spurs. He can do everything. He can do everything, and he can do everything better than De'Aaron Fox. He's clutch. He can score. He can defend. He can be a good rebounder. He can play make. He checks all the boxes. He checks all of the boxes. Like, bro, he not only does everything, but he does all of those things better than De'Aaron Fox and is more consistent in doing so. Like, bro, if Dylan Harper had more minutes, what we saw in game 1 of that Thunder series, a Magic Johnson-like comparable stat line, historic stat line, we would have seen something like that more often. We would have seen that type of production more often. If Dylan Harper had more minutes, the Spurs beat the Thunder in 5 or 6 games, especially without Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell. If Dylan Harper had more minutes, the series would be tied 2-2 right now. The Spurs might be up in the series. The Spurs might be up 3-1 as opposed to being down 3-1. But the series would at the very least be tied if Dylan Harper had more minutes. Dylan Harper should be playing more than De'Aaron Fox. He should be playing more than De'Aaron Fox. Dylan Harper has been outplaying De'Aaron Fox in almost every single playoff game they've had this year. Almost every single playoff game. He has been consistently outplaying Fox throughout this postseason, especially in the NBA Finals this year. Dylan Harper should be playing more than De'Aaron Fox. If Dylan Harper were to play more than De'Aaron Fox, the Spurs might win in 7. If Mitch just switches Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox, gives Dylan Harper De'Aaron Fox's minutes, gives him De'Aaron Fox's role, the Spurs would have a better chance to win in 7. So I still don't think the series is over necessarily. I still think there's hope. They're going back to Texas for game 5 on Saturday. I still think there is hope. But in order to maximize off that hope, Dylan Harper not only has to start, he needs starter minutes. He needs De'Aaron Fox's minutes. Honestly, take De'Aaron Fox's minutes and spread them around to Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson, Carter Bryant, and Luke Cornett. If Mitch does that, the Spurs can win in 7. But that's all we got for today's edition of No Shame with Shane. If you haven't already, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. And I will be back later on with more shameless takes and more NBA Finals reaction for this year.